Hi and welcome to the Ruben Tuesday. I'm Ruben and I'm reviewing the Justice League. Okay, so the Justice League is finally out. And so last night I went to a midnight screening of the Justice League, got home at about 3, shattered. I firstly should tell you there'll be no spoilers in this, mostly. Okay, so my thoughts on the film were interesting, to say the least. I actually really didn't know how to do this review because I both loved the film and really hated it, if that's possible.
I'll take it from here.
I'm sure you've seen the cornucopia of trailers and short clips and posters and media interviews. I mean, it's very hard to avoid them.
Let's hope you're not too late.
If you're wondering how long the film is, it's actually 2 hours and 1 minute. Some places are still reporting that it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. This is not true. Warner Brothers gave a clear directive to the production team and the director that the film had to come under 2 hours. So they pushed the boundary just a bit. I'm not going to tell you much about the film because I don't think the story needs that much explanation, and in fact there isn't much story. Let me sum it up in 3 lines. The Batman has to bring the Justice League team together to fight a character named Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf wants to take over the world and change it into his own. That is the plot. I felt it was probably the weakest out of all the stories, even Batman vs Superman. Batman vs Superman is like just a chaotic mess. This one does have a clear structure. It has a cohesive narrative, but it's so basic in plot.
That's rude.
Okay, so now did the characters work together well with each other? So you've got Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, Batman, and blah blah blah.
I don't say blah blah blah.
I think this is where the film is really strong. The camaraderie between the actors plays off very well. It almost plays off like they've been doing this for years. The bantering between Aquaman and Flash and Broody Batman works really well. Where it doesn't work is when they're trying to further the plot because there isn't much story.
Not enough.
And what it ends up feeling like is like the film is really rushed because it is 2 hours. And if you think about it, we've only had a few of the origin stories already. So we've had Superman, everybody knows Batman's story. We've had Batman versus Martha, kind of.
Why did you say that name?
We've had Wonder Woman, but we haven't had anything about the Flash or Cyborg or Aquaman, apart from really small little, like kind of couple of seconds scenes in the Batman vs Superman. And what happens here is that they rush the introductions to these characters. They are great, but if you've seen the trailers and clips, you would have probably seen most of the introductions of those characters a little bit more fleshed out. My biggest issue with this film is that it feels very rushed. I would have liked a 2 hour 50-minute film because it does feel like it needs more, like the characters needed more time to banter together because that's where they're strongest. Steppenwolf, I didn't actually know anything about Steppenwolf. I've heard his name around the DC verse, but then they do very little to flesh his character or to make him a character that I can be scared of.
Primitive beings.
Apart from one scene, there wasn't any other time where I actually felt that the team was in mortal danger. Especially when a certain character arrives, I thought, well, you know, that's it now. The team work well together, and you can see they've enjoyed making this film together. And I do think that this is the step in the right direction. You can definitely see Joss Whedon's hand in this film. So if you don't know, there's been 2 directors on this film. Zack Snyder had to leave, and so Joss Whedon stepped in. Not only did he direct, but there were actually extensive script changes. You can even see his name in the scripting amongst others in the credits. And I think this shows in how the characters are together with each other. Joss Whedon does such a great job at really creating characters around dialogue, and I think this is a really great step for the DC verse to head towards. I would love to see more of this type of style, but with a better story, because like I said, Steppenwolf is not scary. I didn't feel like they were in mortal danger. The other thing I have to say is the CGI is pretty bad. There are fight sequences and times where I was literally jarred, like pulled back going, wow, that's really crap. Obviously, it's not all, and there are some fantastic action sequences with CGI that is amazing, you know, particularly the Flash. But we've seen the Flash type scenes before, like in the X-Men with Quicksilver. Everybody knows how great that scene was. I do like what they've done with the Speed Force and Flash here. It's really exciting. There are a couple of moments where I was literally going, yes. If you don't know, Superman is back, and that's not a spoiler. He's been in all the interviews. You know that this is part of the storyline, and for me, this is the best Superman we've had yet in the Zack Snyder verse. So Man of Steel, I'm one of those people that kind of like the film. I know most people hated it. Batman versus Superman. Superman was just so moody and broody and not the image of hope that he should be. In this version, it's the best Superman I've seen of him today, and it's probably my favorite point or favorite part of this film is that I really, really loved Superman in this. I think his characters were great. There are still character issues and flaws. There are even clips that you won't see in the film that they cut out from the trailers, and it's one of those things again where you're like, why isn't that in the film? This film, it's like Marmite, but you love and hate it at the same time. I really enjoyed the camaraderie. I hated the story. I really enjoyed some of the special effects, but the CGI in some parts was really shoddy. I've just pushed some people and run away. So it's like this mesh. Overall, I would say this sits under Wonder Woman. It's the second best DC Marvel film so far. I say DC Marvel film because of Joss Whedon's influence, and it feels like it's headed that way. I don't know how to rate this film. I'd say it's pretty crap and it's pretty great. If you're a fan, you're probably going to go watch it anyway. I enjoyed it. I might see it again. Yeah, don't know where to put this film. Don't know whether I should have put it in my bedong for bad and wrong or great and awesome for great and awesome. It literally has both elements to it.
Bedong.
Great! And awesome.
I hope you found this review a little informative. It's a bit all over the place because that's how I feel about this film. Thanks for watching the Ruby Tuesdays review of the Justice League. Bye.